Hey everyone, it's Mark here, and let me tell you about the wildest plot twist in my life. Picture this. After 15 years of marriage, my wife Carla drops a bomb on me right in the middle of our anniversary dinner. We're sitting there, nice restaurant, candlelight flickering, and she just looks at me cool as ice and says, "I'm going back to my ex. I never really loved you." I mean, damn, right? She says it between bites of salmon like it's no big deal. And get this, she's wearing the dress I bought her 2 years ago. Our daughter's away for the weekend, everything set up for maximum impact. I just stared at her for a second, not because I was shocked speechless, but honestly, I was kind of impressed by how she pulled it off. It was like she'd rehearsed it in the mirror 100 times. No yelling, no tears from her, just this smug little smile, like she finally got to say her piece. Me? I put down my fork, folded my napkin, and nodded. "All right then, you should go." That's it. No fight, no drama. She blinked, totally thrown off. I could tell she wanted the big scene, something she could twist later into, "He lost it on me." But nope, I gave her nothing but quiet. That silence? It messed with her head more than any argument could. She struts around the house later like she's won the lottery, packing her bags loud as hell, making these fake giggly calls to her ex on speaker. His voice sounded like a clogged drain, all gravelly and full of himself. She bumps into me in the hallway, dragging her suitcase, and throws in, "I guess I'll be taking half of everything." I didn't bite. Just leaned against the kitchen door, arms crossed, watching her walk out of what I thought was our life. She figured she'd nuked me, left me in the dust. But here's the thing she didn't know. I'd lit the fuse on my own plan 7 years back. See, while she was out there living her best life, I'd been building contingencies. Not out of paranoia at first, just smart planning. But over time, yeah, I saw the signs. That night after her Uber pulled away, I didn't wallow. I headed to my office, flipped on the light, and pulled out this little black box I hadn't touched in years. Inside, a USB drive, notarized docs, our original post-nup agreement, and this activation letter. I sat down, grabbed a pen, and jotted one line. At 10:47 p.m., spouse Carla Whitman voluntarily vacated the shared residence with intent to end the marriage. Clause 7 activated. Signed it, dated it, uploaded it, encrypted it. Boom. By the time her taillights faded, she was already a stranger in a world she thought was half hers. She figured she'd humiliated me. Nah, she'd just unlocked a side of me she never met and wouldn't like. Back in the kitchen that night, I wasn't grieving. I was running through checklists. Carla talking about half of everything? She meant half of what she assumed was there. She had no clue about the trusts, the layered entities, the automatic property transfers that kick in when one spouse bails voluntarily. It's like watching someone jump out of a plane with a parachute they packed themselves, not knowing I'd swapped the ripcord ages ago. I booted up my laptop, startup sequence, local decryption, biometric scan. The desktop loaded like it had been waiting for this. For years, I'd stacked safeguards like sandbags before a storm. Carla always teased me for being obsessed with paperwork, called me old school, controlling, boring. She never got that I was fortifying a castle. I pulled up my asset tree, this encrypted diagram that looks like a spider web that went to law school. Every LLC, every holding company, every hidden partner agreement, all legal, all mine, all set to go full lockdown on one trigger. There it was, Clause 7, triggered by marital abandonment. Her walking out starts the asset isolation. The trust flips property titles to a private holding under my name, revokes her rights via the post-nup she signed way back. All I had to do was click execute. One click, no fanfare, just a green progress bar sliding across the screen. House now under Bitmark Holdings. Bans unauthorized occupants without my say-so. Brokerage accounts reassigned, beneficiary yanked. Even her car, the one I gifted last birthday, shifted to the trust as collateral, leased under a corporate shell. Good luck arguing ownership when the VIN doesn't match the insurance anymore. Everything that looked like our life was always mine, just wrapped nicer. She never asked why the mortgage vanished or why that lake house was just a timeshare. Never questioned my quarterly audits. She thought she married a guy scared of chaos. Nah, she married one ready for betrayal. I opened a second safe, grabbed the sealed envelope labeled CW Activation. Inside, original post-nup, a notarized affidavit from 3 years ago, a time-stamped USB of activity logs, and a pre-signed letter to her lawyer. I added 3 words at the bottom. Proceed as planned. Signed, dated, back in the envelope, into the outbox. Leaned back in my chair, staring at the ceiling. I'd imagined this moment before, but it hit heavier than expected. Not grief, just emptiness. Like when a noisy appliance finally shuts off and you realize how loud it always was. For 15 years, Carla filled the house with little demands, casual gripes. Mastered the passive sigh, the "Mark, seriously?" like it was her favorite punctuation. Now, silence. Real space to think. I checked each lockdown. Main residence reassigned. Finances rerouted. Joint liabilities nullified. Digital accounts, 2FA on. Accesses revoked. I left her Netflix login. Hey, I'm not a monster. Right before midnight, one last command. Notify counsel. Structure active. My lawyer's phone would buzz at 8:01 a.m. sharp. Not a minute early or late. He'd find the signed docs, logs, doorbell cam footage of her exit. No drama, just framework. This wasn't revenge yet. It was architecture. Tomorrow, that's when she'd try to draw blood and find out the knives weren't hers anymore. All right, picking up from last time. Morning after the big exit. I'm brewing coffee when my phone buzzes. Not a call or text. An alert from this old social media monitor I set up back in my auditing days. Originally for tracking business mentions, but old habits die hard. I'd forgotten her profiles were still on the watch list. Boom, there it is. Public post from Carla. Cozy pic with her ex, Steven. This walking midlife crisis with his arm slung over her like he won the lotto. Both holding champagne flutes, grinning like it's prom night but with Botox and back pain. Caption: True love always finds its way back. Cheers to finally being free. Posted at 9:27 a.m. yesterday. I stared at it for a full minute. Not 'cause it hurt or I missed her. Nah, it was the timestamp. 9:27 yesterday morning. Hours before our anniversary dinner, before the salmon, before I never loved you, before her fake tears and packed bag. She snapped that pic while I was at the florist grabbing roses. The same ones she pretended to love at dinner before gutting me. That photo wasn't just tacky, it was legal dynamite. Flipped open the post-nup, straight to Clause 9B. Premeditated abandonment with intent to defraud the marital trust. The bar was clear. Premeditation proven by time-stamped third-party behavior before the actual split. Why'd we add it? During negotiations, my lawyer asked, what if she's already checked out emotionally, just waiting for a payout? So we baked it in. If proof popped up of her planning to bail beforehand, involving some side romance or hidden chats, she'd forfeit all rights to shared assets. Proof like, say, a time-stamped selfie with the ex. I fired up a secure tool, downloaded the image's EXIF metadata, GPS, time zone, device model, confirmed it all, logged it to my asset protection file. Violation locked in. What she thought was a cute celebration was her signing her own doom. Forwarded the pic to my lawyer, subject line, Clause 9B. No body text, he'd get it. Scrolled the comments, 37 likes, heart emojis, the usual dopamine bait. One from her bestie, Michelle. You deserve happiness. I told you he'd come back. Same Michelle who borrowed $5K from us last year for dental work and ghosted. Interesting. Deeper down, her hairdresser. Wait, this was yesterday morning? Thought you said you were still deciding. Carla replies, haha, keep it quiet, don't expose me. Oh, honey, you did that yourself. Screenshotted it, printed the thread, highlighted, don't expose me. My lawyer'd love the irony. Closed the browser, leaned back with my coffee steam rising. Quiet morning, birds chirping. Somewhere across town, she's probably floating on ego and bubbles. No clue what she just triggered. See, most folks think betrayal's about bedroom scandals, sneaky texts. But real betrayal? It's about intent. That's what 9B nails. Not catching cheating, but plotting. And now Carla left the trail. Not me, not Steven, her post, her caption, her lie, her downfall. It wouldn't hit today. Precision doesn't rush, but it was coming. 'Cause in my world, the only thing deadlier than an arrogant liar is one who timestamps their own crime. The call rolled in that afternoon. Unknown number, but I clocked the law firm prefix downtown. Let it ring twice, picked up casual. Mark speaking. Great, this is Tyler Preston, attorney retained by your wife, Carla Whitman. Wanted to reach out directly before filing formal petitions. His tone oozed polished cockiness, like he had custom cufflinks and a leased Tesla. Go ahead, I said, sipping coffee. I'm drafting a divorce petition on irreconcilable differences. Naturally, my client entitlements include equitable division of marital assets. We'll seek her fair share of the primary residence, brokerage accounts, any joint vehicles. If you have counsel, have them contact me. Thought a courtesy call could smooth things, avoid unnecessary drama. His mistake? Assuming I was the passive type, a confused retiree blindsided by modern rules, unprepared. What he didn't know, I'd met his senior partner 8 years back at a charity gala. We chatted asset protection, risk mitigation. Back then, I was just Carla's quiet hubby. I listened, took notes, studied the game, and built a better one. I clicked into my files, dragged a doc to a new email. Subject, Whitman Veers Whitman. Attachments, prelim note, executed post-nup copy, asset distribution memo, trust structure schematic, Clause 9B highlight, time-stamped evidence packet. No body text, no sign-off. Hit send. Dead silence on the line. Mr. Whitman, he finally says, voice tighter. You should read the attachment, Tyler. I'll click. I waited, no gloating. 6 minutes later, phone buzzes. Same number. Let it ring longer this time. Mr. Whitman, now sounding like he stepped on a landmine. Yes? Look, I spoke with my client before contacting you. She informed me there were no active encumbrances on the marital estate. No mention of a post-nup or trust. She wouldn't have. I see. This requires internal review. The trust, the clauses, the time-stamped post, this changes everything. Correct. Pause. Then his voice drops to panic wrapped in legalese. My God, what did she say to you yesterday? I smiled into the phone. Finally, the truth. Glanced at my screen. Email opened, forwarded twice, accessed from mobile. Standard legal triage. I could picture it. Carla sipping bubbly while he reads clauses aloud. Her jaw clenching, face crumbling as she realizes the boring guy she dismissed had locked down the battlefield preemptively. I never had to win the fight. I'd removed the weapons. She thought she was starting a war. Didn't see the gates were welded shut. Her lawyer? First casualty? A guy who walked in thinking he was dealing with a dazed retiree, walked out holding a live grenade. Fast forward to Carla strutting into the bank like she's claiming a prize. Hair done fresh, big sunglasses, outfit screaming, I didn't cry all morning, even though she did. She's on a mission to kick off her independent life by draining what she thinks are our joint accounts, even humming a tune as she walks in. Teller greets her all friendly. How can I help today? I'd like to withdraw from our joint savings and transfer some to my new checking under Carla Whitman. Teller types, pauses, squints. I'm sorry, ma'am. I don't see your name on this account. Carla's voice sharpens. What? We've been customers here 15 years. Check again. Teller looks nervous. The account exists, but your name's no longer attached. Carla's lips curl. That's impossible. I can get the branch manager if you'd like. Yes, she snaps. Manager Thomas, soft-spoken guy, kind eyes, zero tolerance for scenes, approaches with a folder, gives her this sad little smile like a doc about to drop bad news. Mrs. Whitman, please come with me. They duck into a side room, door closes. This is ridiculous, Carla starts. I need access to... Thomas holds up a hand, opens the folder. I just need to show you this. 2 docs. First, a beneficiary reassignment form yanking her name from all main accounts, triggered by Clause 9 violation in our marital contract. Second, a notarized directive from 6 years back, signed by both of us, though she'd forgotten, authorizing the bank to shift full ownership to me, the primary holder, on confirmed marital abandonment. Thomas points to her signature. You signed this April 14, 2017, right here with a witness, our notary. Remember joking how silly it all was? She stares like she's been slapped. Voice rises. You can't do this. I need that money. I have bills, rent. I'm sorry, Thomas says, voice low but firm. The accounts aren't in your name anymore. Nothing here you can access. Carla slams the table. Then open his accounts. I was his wife. He slides the folder over. The document says was. That's the key word. She bolts up, chair scraping. You think you've won? You can't leave me with nothing. But Thomas's look says it all. No judgment, just pity. No security needed. She storms out solo. Sunglasses back on to hide the panic. Outside, she sits in her car, hands on the wheel, breathing like someone's vacuuming her lungs. No money, no safety net, no one to yell at for a fix. Her bank trip? Fueled by arrogance, thinking divorce was a hostile negotiation with cash prizes. What she left with? Zip. Not a penny, not a statement, just sweat on her brow and the dawning hit that this AI ain't the clean break she pictured. This was war, and she was already down. By mid-afternoon, Carla drops the act. Bank's a shock, lawyers ghosting, even Michelle's suddenly busy with the kids. But she tells herself it's a hiccup. She's got her escape pad, the sleek apartment Stephen showed her weeks ago. Modern vibes, clean lines, no dusty photos, just fresh air, scented candles, whiskey bottles lined up like trophies. Her fresh start. Pulls up, still fuming but mentally rehearsing her comeback arc. Text Stephen for sushi. Pop more bubbly, maybe post something spicy to show the world she's thriving. Gets to the door. Bam! Yellow notice stuck on it like a slap. Lease terminated. Vacate within 48 hours. Scans it. Not from the landlord, not the property manager. Signed by Omar Property, LLC. Fine print. Asset manager M. Whitman. Her brain freezes. Rips it off, digs for her phone, nearly cracks the screen calling the building admin. This has to be a mistake. I live here. Been here weeks. Ma'am, per the corporate lease's discretionary clause, termination issued. You're not the primary tenant. What the hell does that mean? I paid rent. Primary tenant Stephen Marlowe notified. Termination from the owning holding. Fees waived, but unit unavailable. But why? Who's the damn owner? Can't disclose internal ownership structure, ma'am. But she doesn't need to. Spots the watermark logo in the corner. Same font from our estate branding. Stylized MW in a square. Mark Whitman. She's processing when Stephen opens the door behind her, mid-sandwich bite, looking like he just woke from a nap. Babe? What's going on? She shoves the paper at him. You know about this? He skims, then reads slower. Thought the building was run by BizBridge, but apparently they're under I.O. Bar or something. Wait, you're saying your husband owns this place? Carla goes silent. She didn't know because she never asked. Too busy playing liberated woman to check if her new beginning was in walls I'd already bought. Keys in her hand, still technically mine, via a holding in a trust she never read. Stephen steps back, rubbing his face. This is a nightmare. I signed a 1-year lease. They can, she cuts in. Apparently he can. Stephen mutters, retreats to the kitchen. No hug, No, I'll fix this. Just space, his default when voices rise. Carla stands in the doorway, notice crumpled. Her safe zone revoked. The guy she ran to? More worried about emails than her face. She slumps on the steps, legs shaky, watching cars zip by, wondering how many hers would turn out never were. Thought she escaped to something new. Nah, every step was still in my mapped-out zone. She didn't leave the battlefield, just went deeper in. Now even the walls were closing. Midnight rolls around, and the call I knew was coming hits. Jolly, our daughter, always the one Carla couldn't fully spin. But blood's blood, and kids want answers. Dad. Her voice cautious, not cold. That's how I knew she hadn't picked sides yet. Just talk to Mom. She's not okay. I don't bite. She says you froze the accounts, left her with nothing, been planning this behind her back for years. Deep breath, not anger, just hearing the crossroads in her tone. She's torn between gut and facts. She says you ruined her life. I grab the slim black folder on my desk. Not the legal one, the personal. Copy of the post-nup with blue ink notes just for Jolly, from when she turned 18 and started asking about estate plans, why her name wasn't on joint stuff. Section 12, I say, the clause on beneficiary exclusion for active deception or abandonment. Read it. Can you send? No need. It's in your Dropbox folder with your college funding breakdown. Files, contingency, full.pdf. You saw it 3 years ago, just never read. Silence. I let it hang. Look, she whispers finally. I don't care about the money. I just need to know if she's telling the truth. I nod, even though she can't see. Then don't listen to either of us. Check her phone. Start with August. Search Stephen. More silence. I swear I hear her heart thump over the line. Call ends soon after. No goodbye. Next morning? Nada. No follow-ups, no angry voicemails, just quiet loyalty. But around 6:30 p.m., email from her uni account. Subject: Hey. No body, no sign-off, just a PDF attachment. Screenshots of Carla's texts with Stephen. Can't wait to ditch him, so tired of pretending. Stashed the post-nup in the guest room drawer. Think I can get him to sign a revision if I catch him tired. If he dies, it all goes to Jolly. That's fine. She'll split with me anyway. Didn't reply. Didn't need to. She'd answered for me. Carla must have felt the silence before getting it. Frenzied calls to Jolly 359. Voicemail. Honey, I just need you to understand what he's doing. He's brainwashing you. And that's what sank her. Not the bank, not the apartment, not the trust. Losing the one person she assumed would stay neutral. 'Cause Carla's biggest delusion wasn't thinking I'd fold. It was believing our daughter had no spine. Jolly didn't respond. Next day, changed her voicemail from that cutesy, jolly hybrid Carla loved for her Stephen as stepdad fantasies to just Jolie. In the end, when forced to choose between shared blood and lived truth, Jolly picked the guy who never lied. Not about flaws, limits, or silence. Carla didn't just lose a husband, she lost her witness. Without one, her story stopped mattering. Stephen Marlowe always saw himself as a charmer, the guy who walks into a room, flashes a grin, and walks out with someone else's wife, job, or dignity. Whatever he wanted that day hadn't changed since college, just fancier veneers, tighter shirts, an Audi with more gadgets than smarts. Underneath, same hustler, same bluff. Thought he hit the jackpot when Carla came running back. You're glowing, he told her that first weekend in the apartment. He never deserved you. She soaked it up like a thirsty plant, ignoring the cracks. Stephen didn't want details on post-nups or separation timelines. To him, Carla had it handled. She talked like the assets were already hers, laughed at me, called me Mark the Fragile, said I'd probably cry in the shower for a month, then hand over passwords, painted me as broken, gullible, easy to crush. Stephen, Buzzed on ego and cheap bubbly, bought it hook, line, sinker, until the knock. He opens up to a guy in a polo holding a clipboard. "Stephen Marlowe?" "Yeah." "You've been served." Thick envelope, real ink on cream paper. Inside, civil suit under state jurisdiction. Plaintiff, Mark Whitman. Claims, intentional interference with patrimonial trust structure, unjust enrichment, tortious interference, fraud thrown in thrice. Evidence listed. Printout of that champagne pic Carla posted, the one he was so proud of. Transcripts of their texts, time-stamped pre-split. The apartment lease he signed under a patrimonial use consent clause, Carla faked. And there's the trap. She had no right to sign because she never owned it, meaning Stephen occupied property, benefited financially, aided in hiding marital assets under false pretenses. His face goes pale. Calls Carla. She ghosts. Texts, "WTF is this lawsuit? You said it was all joint?" Typing bubble pops, stops, nothing. 'Cause she wasn't in control, never was. He believed her 'cause she was hot, angry, confident. Dangerous combo for a guy who's surfed on others' trust his whole life. That night, he's across from his own lawyer, older, sharper, with a "you're in deep" stare. "You let her sign real estate forms without verifying?" "She said it was hers." "You check?" "Didn't think I needed to." Lawyer sighs. "This ain't lovesick drama, kid. It's fiduciary fraud." Stephen swallows hard. "Can I just apologize? Settle?" "You can try. But if they want precedent over cash, you're in hell." And that's when it clicks. This ain't about bleeding him dry. It's about making sure no dude feels safe stealing another's wife and thinking he can snag the life, house, or name too. Stephen wasn't the prize. He was the tool, the knife Carla used to slice her old life. But neither saw the handle was still mine. And now the blade's turning back. She demanded the meat like she still had leverage. "Tell him I want to see him face to face. He owes me." Owes. That word again. As if 15 years of me cleaning her messes, fixing her credit, quietly paying off the car loan she co-signed for her lazy brother wasn't enough. As if I hadn't paid the debt tenfold with silence, stability, restraint. But I agreed, 'cause I got what she didn't. This wasn't reconciliation, it was her needing an audience. Neutral spot downtown, third-floor conference room, long walnut table, glass walls. I arrive 5 early, she's 9 late. Sunglasses, dark lipstick, that jacket she wore to look in charge. But it didn't hide the eye panic. Her confidence, whittled to stubborn grit. "Nice room," she says, sitting no hello. I slide the folder across. She doesn't touch it. "What's this?" "Your life on paper." She flips it open, expecting thunder. Finds printed quiet. A. Social post with Stephen. Timestamp. Geotag. B. Cloud backup chat transcripts. Still married. Flirts. Jokes about taking Mark apart slow. C. Audio from a call with Michelle. Gonna make him think I haven't decided long enough to pull everything out. Her hand freezes. "You recorded me?" "Nah. Michelle did. Guess she thought she was CEO of a conspiracy. Learned betrayal's got no loyalty program." Color drains from her face. Then the highlighted clause. Section 14B. Any attempt at emotional coercion, manipulation, or intentional deceit for financial gain results in total forfeiture of marital or trust rights. She reads it thrice. Voice cracks. "This is insane." "Nah, it's notarized." Teeth grit. "You can't erase me like this." "Didn't erase you. You wrote yourself out. I just closed the book." "You think this makes you strong?" "Makes me free." She pages more. Sees the auto liquidations, instant transfers, contractual reversals she never grasped. Too busy calling our marriage a prison to notice what was shielded. "You hid all this?" "You never looked. Too focused on what you deserved to see what's protected." She slams it shut, shaking. "This wasn't love." No response. "You never loved me?" I meet her eyes. But I love the law. First time, no comeback, no quip, no spin, no rehearsed tears. Just silence. The kind after a gavel drops. She stands too fast, nearly tips the chair. Hope you're proud. Slow nod. I am. Door opens. She hesitates like she's got one last shot, but walks out. No finale, no show, just heels echoing down a hall that was never hers. Room goes still, folder warm from her touch, air heavy with a war wrapped, not with victory tunes or cheers, but a balanced ledger, and a woman finally getting what outplayed means. The letter hits on a Tuesday. No courier, no bell, no signature needed. Plain white envelope in Carla's mailbox, like junk mail. She spots it mid-afternoon, bundled in an oversized cardigan, yesterday's mascara, days of regret. Rips it open expecting more legal updates, maybe a timeline or hearing date. Gets finality instead. 2 docs. First, irrevocable dissolution notice of private marital trust authority. Second, executed transfer of all annulled marital claims. No judge, no county seal, no case number, 'cause this never hit family court. Straight from the trust admin, done deal. Any leftover claims, assets, alimony, even her name on records, voided. Not bargained, not cut, erased. Per the trust we both signed, violating Clause 9, then 14, let me trigger and wrap dissolution via internal admin process. Courts? Never needed them. I'd built the end into the start. She reads the cover letter, hands shaking, pulse pounding behind her eyes. Effective from the moment you said you never loved me? That line. No threats, no rage, just time-stamped knife, raw text. Carla stands in her tiny kitchen, what's left of her grand escape, scanning the room like trying to recall how it started. Champagne, pick, laughs, all gone. Stephen bailed 2 weeks back after his suit notice, said he needed to rethink, vanished to his ex-wife's orbit, drama with shared custody and a used BMW. Michelle? No picks up. Apartment reclaimed by the holding, no headlines. Even Jolly went quiet. Carla slumps at the table, folds and unfolds the papers like they'll change if she blinks hard. Grabs her phone. Last contact, Tyler Preston. Stares like it's betrayed her. Not that he's unavailable, he's out. No lawyer wants court with an empty folder and discredited client. Reflex scrolls to gallery, lands on the champagne pic with Stephen. Same pose, smug grin, but now it nauseates her. Taps delete. Pauses. Why? That photo was the trigger, her choosing fireworks over foundation. Can't erase a grave marker. Room's too quiet. No dishwasher hum, no music, just the fridge compressor clicking like a tired metronome. Fingers the embossed seal one last time. Real. Not draft, not threat, just end. Not just a marriage, but a narrative. She'd spent years making me a footnote in her story. Never saw I was the final editor, and that's the wrap. 15 years, endless patience, credit fixed, bills paid, all for her to end with a champagne toast and Insta-caption. In the end, no bubbly, no pad, no lawyer, no daughter holding the candle. Just Carla staring at the fridge like it's her last witness. Irony, she always called me the boring paperwork obsessive. Guess who got filed away in the end?